Hey everybody, I've got a great treat for you today. I'm Ron Cantor and you're watching Out of Zion on God TV. We're getting ready to go into Hezekiah's tunnel. This is an unbelievable treat. In fact, you might get a little claustrophobic, so take some Dramamine or whatever you're gonna do. We're gonna go into this amazing tunnel and I'm gonna tell you about why it was built, how it was built, and how God used it to protect Israel. Okay, just another warning. We're getting ready to enter this tunnel. It is pitch black. It's very cool. The water is all the time about 20 degrees Celsius, around 70 degrees, I think that is Fahrenheit. It comes up at the highest part right up to about here, but normally it's to here. If you ever get to Israel, you've got to go through Hezekiah's tunnel. Takes about 20 minutes or so. They say 40 minutes. Takes me 20 minutes. Come on, let's go. So now that we're actually deep inside Hezekiah's tunnel, I want to tell you why they built this tunnel. See, back in the time of Hezekiah, the Assyrians they'd already attacked Israel and they had taken captive the northern 10 tribes, and now they set their sights on Hezekiah, on the Judah, the southern kingdom. And they were getting ready to come against Judah, and Hezekiah said, if they get our water, you see, right beneath our feet, this is water from the Gihon springs, and this water was able to make 2,500 people not die in these rough conditions. This gave Jerusalem all the water that she would need. And so what happened is that Hezekiah, he probably couldn't sleep at night, realizing that the Canaanites would come and take this water. So what he did is he commissioned stone workers to start building. He said, and this is actually a paraphrase in Chronicles, I think first or second, I'm not sure, but he basically says, why should Assyria get all of our water? So he had these stone workers. One group started from one side, the other started from the other side, and they were supposed to meet in the middle, and they had to do it quick. Now, you can see that this is rock. Can you imagine digging through this? We'll talk more about that in a minute, but let's keep going. Now, if I haven't mentioned this already, this is one of my favorite things to do in Jerusalem. The first time I came here, I was a little terrified because I was a tour leader, but we had a tour guide, and she said, I'm not going in there. You're going to have to lead them in there. Now, just when she said that was enough to make me terrified, but I'm so glad I went in because this is such an amazing experience. So imagine you're one of these stonemasons and Hezekiah calls you and says, I've got a job for you. Can you imagine building this thing? I mean, personally, I'd be a bit terrified. You could see how low it got in certain places, but they were working day and night to get the job done. Come on, let's go see the rest of the tunnel. Okay, so you might be wondering, how big is this thing? It's just over 500 meters long. And not only that, this is the amazing part. The height difference from the beginning to the end is just 30 centimeters. 500 meters and only 30 centimeters difference. That way the water could flow, but just barely. You might want to look up there. Wow. Now you'll notice that the height gets really high here. That's because when the two groups met, I can't tell you exactly where they met, but when they did meet, they were at different heights. So they had to dig higher to catch up with them. Come on, let's see the rest. So in 1880, this plaque was found by explorers, and it says on it, while the hewers wielded the axe, each man toward his fellow, and with 3 cubits still left to be hewn, there was heard a man's voice calling to his fellow, for there was still a fissure in the rock on the right and on the left. And on the day of the tunneling, the hewers struck each man toward his fellow, axe upon axe, and the water flowed from the source to the pool for 200 and 1,000 cubits, and 100 cubits was the height of the rock above the heads. In other words, this plaque says that the two groups met in the middle and immediately the water flowed from one area to the other just like it was supposed to. So we did it. We got through Hezekiah's tunnel. And isn't it amazing that something that was written about 2,500 years ago is still here? We know the Bible is true because of Hezekiah's tunnel and so many other things in Israel. Now be sure to tune into God.tv so you never miss an episode. And you can find me at roncantor.com.